times. Okay. Because first application, let me take my own time, boss. Right, boss. Tell me. I want to see IOC container creating object of that predefined class, not by using constructor, by calling factory method. By calling factory method. In the bean tag, using which attribute we should configure that factory method? In the bean tag, using which attribute we should configure that factory method? Factory-method attribute. What attribute, guys? Factory-method attribute. So then it will call what? Class name dot method. Whatever object comes, that becomes Spring Bean or not? That becomes Spring Bean or not? Super, guys. But listen carefully. When both beans are there with IOC container, how to inform to IOC container? Dependent class object should be assigned to target class object by using setter method to perform setter injection. Using which annotation we can give that instruction? Using the which annotation we can give that instruction? @auto void. @auto void. Convinced, guys? What is the point? @auto void kept on setter method, perform setter injection. @auto void kept on field, perform field injection. @auto void kept on constructor, perform constructor injection. Okay, yesterday I kept @auto void where, guys? On the top of setter method. So it performs setter injection or not? It definitely performs setter injection or not, boss? Yeah, @component makes the Java class as Spring Bean. Bean tag makes the predefined class as Spring Bean. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Now listen. File, save as. Continuation of yesterday's class. Okay, don't think that yesterday, today, same content is there in the same document. I am giving different time, different date. It's going to be continuation of yesterday's class. Okay. Now listen. I want to tell to IOC container, go to so-and-so package, go to so-and-so packages, search for the classes having annotations and make them as Spring Beans. Scan for the packages and search for the classes in those packages. Come on. And make them as Spring Beans. Make them as Spring Beans. Understanding my statement? For that purpose, we should give instruction in what? XML file to IOC container. XML file to IOC container. There is something called context. One namespace, guys. Array, in Java, we have packages having classes. Okay. In XML, we have namespaces having tags. One namespace called context, guys, where few tags are there, which tells to IOC container, go to so-and-so packages, search for all the classes and search for classes with annotations like @component, make them as Spring Bean. Why, sir? Why? Different user-defined classes will be there in different places. How does IOC container knows? It has to search in so-and-so packages to make the Java class as Spring Bean. So for that purpose, one or other place we should give instruction or not? For that purpose, one or other place we should give instruction or not? Context colon component -scan base -packages is equal to com dot nt dot sbeans. Com dot nt dot sbeans. Yeah, this is what, guys, enable component scan. Enable component, nothing but Spring Bean scan. What, guys? Spring Bean scan. Enable component scanning, nothing but Spring Bean scanning. Everyone getting my point? Super. This is the last instruction, guys. Like these multiple instructions are there. Context colon component scan takes the given package, go to that package, searches in all classes for annotation, like at the rate component. Come on, guys. Okay. If you found, makes those classes as spring beans, by loading the classes, by creating the objects, by loading the class and by creating objects. Right, boss. This tag makes the IOC container. Ashwini Sahu, I am writing the same lines here. Please, what's happening in the classroom, you should have awareness, right? This tag makes the IOC container to go to scan the given packages. Okay, to scan the given packages to identify, for identifying the Java classes with what is this? Spring Bean configuration annotation. Like at the rate component. And to make them as spring beans. Okay. To make them as spring beans. Spring Bean configuration annotation like at the rate component and to make them as spring beans. Listen, I mentioned this package now, boss. com.nt.sbeans. It goes to that package. As of now, in this package, how many classes are there? Unfortunately, one class is there. It search in that class, is there any at the rate component annotation or not? Yes, there. So it makes this class as spring bean, boss. It makes spring bean means what? It loads the class and creates the object, boss. Makes them as spring beans by loading the classes and creating the objects. By loading the classes and creating the objects. Okay. You may ask me one question. Sir, why should I give packages? You should scan all the packages, na? In company level real projects, 100, 200 packages will be there. Each package, 20, 30 classes will be there. Do you think in all classes we keep spring beans, guys? No, na? Sometimes helper classes, some exception classes, some utility classes, which are non-spring beans, right? Which are non-spring beans. Why should I scan those packages in which I placed the helper classes? I don't want to place any Java spring beans as the Java classes, right? So it's better to limit the scanning process now to get a better performance. To get a better performance, better to limit the scanning process to certain packages so that IOC container will go to those packages, scan those packages. Okay, only try to make what? That packages based classes having annotations as the spring beans. Having annotations as the spring bean. So burden and performance will be nice now, boss. Burden is reduced, performance is improved. Okay. I'll ask one real life example. There is a hotel of 100 rooms. Okay. I asked employee of the hotel, one customer landed in our hotel whose name is Rajendra. I don't know in which room he landed. Okay, go and find out. He may take 3 hours time, 4 hours time. Yes, na boss? Why? Because 100 rooms are there in different floors. Going to each room, knocking door and finding, it takes a lot of time or not. But suppose if you give clarity, he is there in the range of 50 to 60 rooms. He landed today evening. Today evening onwards, we started giving 100 to 120 rooms only. Try to find out between what? 100 to 120 rooms. It becomes easy for the employee to find out, na boss. Yes, na boss. You asked Google, give me LG service center near me, gives fast results. Give LG service center, it takes a lot of time because you are not giving clarity which area service centers. So it has to give all service centers of all cities. When you say near me, it will give current city service center, that to nearby service centers it will. Max of 10-15 kilometer distance. Yes or no, na boss? Like that possibility should be increased or not? Super, guys. When the above classes or files and files are given to Spring's IOC container. Spring's IOC container. Please focus. Coding will be there. First concentrate. The container does the following operations. Okay, guys. Now listen. Takes the package to scan. Package or packages to scan. From application context.xml file. How to create container, I will talk later. If at all given, XML file, guys. Nothing but Spring Bean configuration file. Spring Bean configuration file. Takes the packages to scan from application context.xml, Spring Bean configuration file. Okay. Application context.xml. From the context to colon component to scan. Packages of the application context.xml. Yes or no, na boss? Super. Next, B. Goes to that package. And it gets what, guys? And it gets what? com.nt.sbeans package. Right now, boss? Goes to that package and searches for the, what is there again? Searches for the component annotation classes. Annotation classes in that package. In that package and its sub packages. In that package and its sub packages. Everyone getting my point? Searches for the component annotation classes in that package and its sub packages. Okay. In this process, it makes wish message generator as the Spring Bean. This detailed explanation is very, very important. Please. Generator as the Spring Bean. Spring Bean. By loading the class and creating the object. By loading the class and creating the object. Yes, boss. Here object is created now, boss. Wish message generate. Right now, boss. Wish message generator class object. It is having one property, boss. Don't forget one property is there. What is that? Local date time, date time. It is having one has a property or not. On the top of that has a property, don't forget @ auto wide is there. For the timing, you just remember it is there. Right, boss? Okay. Nice, guys. Next one, what is there? Next one, what is there? Okay. Takes the bean tags from application context.xml file and makes the given classes as Java classes as Spring Beans. Right, boss? Given classes as Spring Beans. Understanding my statement? Okay. In this process, what happens, boss? Tell me. In this process, what happens? Tell me, guys. Okay. In this process, what happens? It makes local datetime class object. It creates local datetime class object by calling factory method and makes that one as a Spring Bean class object or not. Makes that one as a Spring Bean class object or not. Super, guys. In this process, tell me, guys. In this process, calls local datetime dot now method and makes the returned object. What is the returned object, guys? Local datetime class object. Yes or no? Na? As the Spring Bean. Super, guys. Here what happened? Okay, boss. Super, boss. Here what is there, guys? Local date time class object. Yes or no? Na? Local date class. When this object is created, what is the object name, guys? Bean ID. What is bean ID? WMG. When this object is created, what is the object name, guys? Bean ID. What is the bean ID? Come on, guys. LDT. Check it out. What is the bean ID given here? What is the bean ID given here? LDT. What is the bean ID given here? WMG. Right now, boss? Super, guys. Are you understanding my point? It's because of what, guys? This object is created because of what? For bean ID is equal to LDT. Class is equal to what is there? Java dot time dot. What is there? Local date time. What is there? Local date time. Okay, local date time. Factory - method is equal to now. Factory - method is equal to now. No need of mentioning. Okay. Brackets. No need of mentioning brackets, boss. Okay. For this object is created. Who created target class object? Spring container. Who created dependent class object? Spring container. Yes, na, boss? Super. Next, C. C na, some next number. A, B, C. This is C na. Feel the code. Don't just mug up the code. When you feel the code, you will understand what I am trying to say. Then what it will do, guys? What it will do? Container search for @ auto wide annotation. And Auto void annotation in all the beans that are ready, in all the spring beans that are ready. Is there any auto void annotation in the local date time class, guys? No. Any chance is there? No. Why? It's a predefined class. That to JDK supplied class. In Java, core Java supplied class, spring annotations will be there. Definitely will not be there. Again, similarly, it will also searches in what, guys? It also searches in what, guys? Wish message generator class. Where it found? Where it found? On the top of setter method. On the top of setter method. So it calls that setter method. It calls that setter method having what is the parameter type here? What is the parameter type? Local date type. Then it will search, is there any Spring Bean class object whose class name is local date time? There na, boss. So having this object as the argument, setter method is called. What method? Setter method is called. What setter method is doing? Getting that argument as parameter, super, and assigning. Come on, my dear. Assigning. Come on, my dear. That object to bean property. Array, this date time is assigned to this instance variable. So indirectly injection is done. That injection is done because of setter method. So can I call it as a setter injection? Can I call it as a setter injection? Come on, my dear. Ultimately, injection is done here only. But because of setter method, it is happening. So can I call it as a setter injection, my dear? Can I call it as a setter injection? Super. Okay, now tell me, who is creating target class object? Container. Who is creating dependent class object? Container, right? Who is calling setter method and assigning dependent class object to target class object? Container. So in core Java setup, who has to do all these things? In core Java setup, who has to do all these things? Programmer. So here burden from the programmer is reduced. Everything is taken care by container. So that means it is inversion of control or not. Providing abstraction on programmer activities or not. Providing the abstraction on programmer activities or not. Are you able to feel it? Array, when I write in the Eclipse, it's 2 minutes, Babu. But are you able to feel it first? If you feel it, you can feel in the practicals also. If you feel theoretically, you can feel practical also, right? Okay, guys. Tell me, guys. Searches for the auto void annotation availability in both spring beans, in all the spring beans, guys, in all the spring beans, but finds on the top of setter method in wish message generator class. Wish message generator class. Wish message generator class. Okay, boss. Wish message generator class. Okay, boss. Tell me next. And gets that setter method param type. Setter method param type. What is parameter type, guys? Java.time.local date type, right now? Local date type. And searches for the what is there? Searches for the Spring Bean class object whose type or class is Java dot time dot local date time. Yes or no na? Java dot time dot local date time. There are not there. Finds that object. Finds that object. LDT is that only na? LDT is that only, right? Finds that object. So calls setter method on target class object having this LDT object, nothing but dependent class object. Yes or no na? Okay. To assign dependent LDT object to what is this? Target wish message generator class object. Yes or no na? Target wish message generator class object. This is called setter injection. This is called setter injection. Yes or no na, boss? What is there? WMG dot set date time of LDT. Set date time of LDT. This is the code that will be executed internally, boss. This is the code that will be executed internally, boss. Is it not interesting? Is it not interesting? This is target class object. This is not dependent class object. Okay, this is setter method for setter injection. Setter method for setter injection, right? Okay. Nowhere will explain like this, please. Everyone says that object created, but we are getting into the subject. We are getting into the internals. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? If you study like this, you will enjoy any subject. Target class object. But to bear me, strong core Java knowledge is also required. Dependent class object. Super setter methods. Setter method for setter injection. Setter method for setter injection. After this, what happens, guys? Indirectly, this work is done or not done? Okay, I'll change the color. Indirectly, this work is done or not done, guys? Super, guys. This job is done or not done? Setter injection by container. Setter injection by container. Setter injection by IOC container. Enjoyed my statement, boss? Okay, I think compared to yesterday, today you got more clarity. If we can give target and dependent classes as spring beans to the IOC container, loading those classes, creating objects for those classes, assigning dependent object to target class object, will be taken care by IOC container. Yes or no? Na? Okay. Is that clear, guys? Those who are saying something new, first watch backup videos, rather dirty fellows. Without watching that backup videos, what time pass you are doing in the classroom? If those are following from the beginning, those who have watched backup videos, are you comfortable? Are you enjoying the process? I don't do anything, but subject should come. Not possible. Not possible. Not possible. You have to watch backup videos. Things are interesting or not? The people are having proper core Java knowledge. The people who watched backup videos. The people are attending continuously. Are you enjoying the subject here? Are you enjoying the subject here? Come on. Okay. Super, guys. Okay, now listen. Sir, you said target class, dependent class. Super, guys. Target class and dependent class. Sir, how can you say which is a target class, which is dependent class? Very simple, Babu. Blind rule, you remember. The class that is having at the rate auto wide. At the rate auto wide. Right. Understanding my statement, guys? The classes that is having at the rate auto wide is the target class. Yes, na boss? The other class which is taken as the parameter of that, which is taken as the parameter of the setter method, that setter method is a dependent class. Yes, na boss? We never say this is target, this is dependent, Babu. IOC container is intelligent enough. IOC container is intelligent enough. Are you getting my point? Are you writing anywhere you are target, you are dependent? No, na. You are target, you are dependent? No, na, boss. But how does it know? Where at the rate auto wide is there, that will be taken as what? Target class. Yes or no, na? Okay. And other class is called as what? The class, the Spring Bean class that is searched by at the rate auto wide annotation for injection. That searched for IOC container for injection is called dependent class. Yes or no, na, boss? No to one. No to one. The Spring Bean class that is having has a property and at the rate auto wide property. At the rate auto wide annotation. In one or another place, right? In one or another place. Another place is called target class. Is called target class. Tell me. Note 2. The has a property type. As a property type or class is called class or the at the rate auto wide searching related Spring Bean class object. Searching related Spring Bean class object is called dependent, guys. Is called dependent Spring Bean. Agree with me, guys? Dependent Spring Bean. Okay, let's apply these 2 points on this. Okay, what is the as a property type, guys? As a property type is local date time. So can I call this a dependent, guys? Okay, here at the rate auto wide is searching for which class object to inject, guys? Local date time based on the parameter type, right? So can I call local date time is called dependent class, boss? Can I call local date time is dependent class, boss? Come on. Super, boss. Okay. Now listen, guys. One more angle. Compared to coding, analyzation is most important in the code. Code is what is there. Open Eclipse, write 2 lines of code over. I'll give that also. Once coding start, everyday coding, Babu. But when you open Eclipse IDE, you should not hesitate to write the code. Code should go like a tiger. Code should go like a cheetah, because already background should be there in our brain. That is my style of presentation, boss. Got it, got it. Don't write the code and don't understand the code. Develop the code by having the concept in mind. That makes you a right programmer. That makes you a real programmer of the company. If you understand code written by others, you never become great programmer. But if you can write code on your own, you will become great developer. So far in core Java, advanced Java, I don't know what model you studied. Whether you are understanding the code or writing the code, there's a big difference. If you are understanding code, sorry, you have not gone in a right way. You should write the code by designing the code, by analyzing the requirement. That makes you a great programmer. Whatever subjects I teach, this is my model. What is the model? I make you to write the code. I never make you to understand the code. Got it, got it. Takes time to habituate. Takes time to habituate, but mark my word, this practice is going to change your life, going to change attitude of learning subjects, going to change your software programming skills. Mark my word. I changed lives of so many students in this model, and this is definitely for you also it's going to happen. Only the thing is, believe yourself, trust me. Trust Java, trust the software industry. All things will be positive. Why should I learn? Openings are less nowadays. A recession comes and goes, Babu. But from March, April onwards again. March, April onwards again, market will be open. When open, you should be the first person to get the job, right? In cricket, there is a saying, boss. What is there? Form is temporary, class is permanent. Kohli might have lost the form for 2 years, but once he come back to the form, he has given great service to India, right? Super, guys. Alexa, turn on balcony central light.
Okay.
Super, guys. Tell me. Wiring means injection. Wiring means injection. Okay. So, @auto wire performs dependency injection. Dependency injection by detecting the dependent spring bean dynamically. That's why, see, I'm not just saying auto wide, I'm trying to give the meaning why it is called auto wide. That's why it is named as @auto wide annotation. Tell me, boss. When you apply @auto wide on the top of the setter method, are you telling to annotation, take LDT bean as the dependent, local date time class as the dependent? Are you telling anywhere in the @auto wide? Are you passing any parameters to the @auto wide annotation? But still it is picking up the dependent. How? Based on which method this is applied. Set date and time. What is the parameter type? Local date time. Now it will search for, is there any bean whose name is local date time? Yes, there. Whose type is local date time? Yes, there. Luckily, object is already created. So takes the object and injects the object. So now tell me, is it not detecting the dependent dynamically? Is it not detecting the dependent automatically by using a type, by using its own parameters, by using its own style of detection? So that's why auto wiring. Wiring means injection. Auto wired means it is ready to inject the dependent by detecting the dependent automatically. Bulb glow na, not glow na, boss. Bulb glow na, not glow na. Come on, guys. Bulb glow na, not glow na. Everyone bulb. Okay, let me hurt your ego. Let me get the answer. Okay. If your gender is boy or girl, respond in the chat box. If you are having third gender, don't respond. I am giving reservation for you. Poor third gender persons, don't respond. Now response will come. I know. I am a team leader. I worked as a team leader and project manager. I know how to give the task and how to complete the task from the people. Now your brain is working or not? Yes. So be ready for this kind of torturing statements, ego hurting statements, pinching statement. I will take a response from you at any cost. In future, I will take the name and I will ask answer. Because right now, you know what is the strength of this batch? Are you able to see the strength? 560 people are right now attending. Super, guys. Super. Okay. Now, shall we get into the next level discussion? Sir, you are given target class, dependent class, predefined class as dependent class. Yes, na boss? Okay. You are telling to container how to make target class as Spring Bean using @ component. How to make what? Dependent class as Spring Bean using bean tag, right? Where to scan by using component scanning. Everything you have given clearly. But first of all, container should be there, na sir. If container is there, then only all these things can be tested, right? Without having container creation, can we test all these things? Can we see all these things practically? So there should be one or other application to test all these things, to feel all these things by creating IOC container, by giving application context.xml file as input file to IOC container, by asking container to give the object, by calling business method on that object. Yes or no? Na? Somewhere, some application should be there, some class should be there. Having a container creation logics or not, boss? Container creation logics or not? Super, guys. In any application that is having multiple classes or files or both. Okay. The class that is taken for testing the code, for testing the code by giving necessary things, by giving necessary inputs is called user test application or client application. User test application or client application. So I need to create one client application, boss. Okay. In Spring application also, See, I'm not saying develop client application. I'm saying why should we develop client application? I'm explaining. I hope you are connected to my teaching methodology. Okay. In Spring application also, we need a user test application or client application. Okay, client application to create IOC container having Spring Bean configuration file as the input file and to get Spring Bean class objects from that container as needed. Array, come on guys. I want to get, come on guys, what is there? Push message generator class object, which is injected with local datetime class object from Spring container. So that I can call the business method, I can check whether injection is done or not done. Business logic is executing or not. I can happily check or not, boss. I can happily check that one or not. Super. That application is called client application. So shall I develop the client application now? Okay. Client application or user test application. Super, guys. Tell me, guys, standalone application can have multiple .java files? Standalone application can have multiple .java files? No? Who said Ra can have Ra Bob? Multiple classes? Multiple classes? Though there are multiple classes, boss. Though there are multiple classes. Come on, my dear. Only one class will contain main method or not? From there only execution begins or not? If I can take this client application as the class with main method, when I run the application, execution begins here only, na? Execution ends here only, na? In middle, it will go that here and there and completes the execution. Right now, boss? Can we develop standalone application without main method? Though there are multiple classes, multiple .java file, at least one class should have a main method. At least one class should have a main method. At least one class should have a main method, boss. Super. So in this client method application, we are going to take that main method. Yes or no, na? Okay. Now listen. Public class. What is the file name? Setter injection test.java. What .java, guys? Setter injection test.java. Super. Okay. Generally, com.nt.client is the package. Array, we'll keep this one also in a package. com.nt.client is the package. Come on, my dear. Here some package imports. Yeah, right now they are not important. Package imports. This is not final code. This is the code for understanding. In Eclipse, we will give the final code. Don't worry. Tell me. Public class setter injection test. Super. And from the client application only, I want to begin the execution. That means better to have a main method in the client application, boss. Better to have a main method in the client application. Say something, my dear. Super, guys. Public static void main string args array. Array, I said container will do all these things. When container will do all these things? When you create a container. From where container will gather all these inputs? From Spring Bean configuration file, right? Spring Bean configuration file. So you have to pass this Spring Bean configuration file as the input file or not? Say something, boss. We have to pass this Spring Bean configuration file as input file or not? Super, guys. Now let's see why. Array, in which package user-defined class is there? That information is also there in Spring Bean configuration file. Are you understanding my statement? Yogesh Kumar, I am preparing background. After that, we are going to develop the same application using Eclipse. If you don't have common sense, get out. Don't irritate me. Eclipse will be used. But first understand what code you are writing and why you are writing each line. I think from last 3 days, I keep on giving this statement. I am not against of Eclipse. I will use Eclipse. Are you getting my point? Nirak Jain, as a relation is that property level. Setter method is supporting to complete the injection. Guys, come regularly, listen carefully. Super. Don't irritate me by asking unknown, same questions every day. Because I don't hesitate to scold you people. I don't hesitate to pinch you people. If I feel you are not focusing, I may say anything on your face. Create IOC container because I will give my 100% to inject the subject to your brain. Whether you are ready or not, you check yourself. Super, guys. Tell me. Create IOC container. Okay. Super. Tell me, guys. What is the class we are having? File system XML application context. CTX is equal to this is the class. Other day I said now how to create application context container. To create application context container, we have to create object for ready-made class that implements application context interface. Day before yesterday, I talked this one. Did I? New file system, XML application context. New file system, XML application context. .. /application context .xml. / application context .xml. Array, this is the location, Babu. Don't worry. This is the name and location of Spring Bean configuration file. If it is there in some location, I am trying to give it. Okay. Name and location of Spring Bean configuration file. Name and location of Spring Bean configuration file. Is that clear? Okay. Hey, you don't believe container is ready. You don't believe container is ready. Don't you feel it's a lightweight container? Don't you feel it's a lightweight container, guys? With one line, container is ready. Okay, now listen. Once the container is ready, what it will do? It will go to XML file. It will scan the packages, makes wish message generator class as Spring Bean. In that process, creates the object. Yes, na boss? In that process, creates the object and it takes the bean tag, makes local datetime class object as Spring Bean. Come on. And it takes the @auto-void annotation. Yes, na boss? Injects a local datetime class object to what? Wish message generator object. Everything happens automatically internally or not? Come on, guys. So now I should ask Spring container. Hey, container, I know you do everything. Can you give me wish message generator class object by doing everything internally? We should ask container, na? We should ask container, na? If it is a core Java developer, he only creates, he only injects. Yes, na? It is a Spring boss. Container do everything. And we know that container will do them, right? So we have to ask container, give me target class object now, boss. Because business method is there in target class or dependent class. Target class. If I can get target class object, I can happily enjoy business method that is there in target class now, boss. Business method that is there in target class now, boss. Okay, guys. Get target class object reference from IOC container. From IOC container. When fully automated washing machine is washing clothes, at the end of the washing, is there any problem if I ask the washing machine, give me cloths? Give me cloths? No, na? If I know my Alexa will take care of. If I know my Alexa will take care of all automation of electrical equipment, is there any problem to ask Alexa, switch off the power, switch on the power kind of thing? Let's see. Alexa, activate sleep balcony.
Okay.
Gone now? Because I know Alexa is doing that work. I asked Alexa, right? Alexa, activates balcony.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Alexa, activate balcony center light.
Okay.
Coming now, boss. Alexa,
Okay.
can you see some water is flowing at the backside? Yes, no? Because Alexa is capable of that. Alexa is linked with that. That's why I'm requesting Alexa to do that job, right? Buddha statue with waterfall. I think now you are able to see. Alexa, activate balcony central light.
Okay.
Yeah. Because all these are the scenes I created with my Alexa. So I can ask Alexa to do these works or not. Yes, na boss? Similarly, when I create container and when I give this XML file, based on the information that is there in XML file, come on, based on the annotation that I placed in Java code, container will load both target and dependent classes, create objects for both classes, assigns dependent class object to target class object, and maintains both objects with it. Maintain both objects with it. Yes or no, na boss? When it maintains both objects with it, is there any wrong asking one object, boss? Alexa can do many things. I asked Alexa, do this work for me. Yes or no, na? A sweet shop owner can do lot of sweets. I requested sweet shop owner, do this sweet for me. Because you're expert of that. I know I have a container. I know that. The moment I created container, you are capable of what? Loading both target and dependent classes, creating objects for both, assigning dependent objects to target class object. You are maintaining those objects, I know that. Can you give me target class object? Can you give me reference pointing to target class object? Is there any wrong, boss? Earlier programmer created, programmer used. This time container created, programmer wants to use. Programmer wants to use means programmer should ask, na boss. Programmer wants to use means programmer should ask, right? Super boss. Tell me. Object to obj is equal to, there is a direct method, guys. ctx.getMain. ctx.getBean WMG. Once container create all the objects, those objects are identified with the bean IDs. Na? What is the bean ID of the target Spring Bean class? WMG. Right now, boss? WMG. So that's why I passed WMG here or not. Bean ID of the target spring bean. Every spring bean is identified within the IOC container with its bean ID. Array object name, ra. Array when you want object from someone, you have to give object name, na. I created some commands, ra. So if without telling the command only, Alexa will run the command, huh? No, na. Target spring bean ID. Okay. All the spring beans managed by the IOC container are identified with their bean IDs. Right now, boss? With their bean IDs. Nothing but object names. Nothing but object names. Array bean IDs internally becomes object names. You know that. Super, super. Okay, now listen. Sir, why are you taking an object class reference variable? Array, this method return type is what? Object only. Why? Why they have given as object? Array, tomorrow I can pass LDT. After in some other application, I pass another class bean ID. Let the method return any object. But by using common reference variable, I can refer any Java class object now. What is the common reference variable using which I can refer any Java class object? That is object class reference variable now, boss. That is object class reference variable or not? Factory.getBean bean ID. Method return type is object. Java.lang.object. Java.lang.object. Okay. Now listen. Using object class reference variable, I can refer any Java class object or not. That's why I have done like this. Suppose here I change it to LDT. It gives me local date time class object. Still I can refer. You know core Java or not? If you feel object class reference variable can refer any Java class object is a new statement. Stop coming to Spring, start sitting in core Java. It's my humble request. We are not here to learn core Java. Here we are here to use the core Java, to apply the core Java. I will use core Java. I will teach core Java, but not in the angle of learning, in the angle of utilization. Yes or no? Na? Object class Java.lang.object class reference variable can refer any Java class object. Because Java.lang.object is the topmost class in the inheritance hierarchy of any class, right? Hierarchy of any Java class. Every hierarchy ends there only, na boss. Every hierarchy ends there. So its reference variable can refer any Java class object. But one problem is there in core Java, boss. What is that, you know? When superclass reference variable is referring subclass object, can we call direct methods of that class using reference variable, that reference variable? Can we call direct methods of subclass using that reference variable? I think, again, not connected. Super, no problem. Class A. I know that. What core Java you studied, I know that. Okay, public void M1. Everyone studies core Java, boss, but applying at right time is the real core Java knowledge. Yes or no? Na? Umrakain, you are going good. Class B extends A. extends A, public void M2. Public void M2. Come on. Ravi, I know my timings. Can you focus on the subject? I don't need your free suggestions. Last warning. When to wind up the class, when to start the class, I know. Can you focus on listening? Use your energy for positive things, waste fellow. Tell me, guys. This is super class. This is subclass. Is it right, guys? A is equal to new BF. Right statement or wrong statement? Right statement or wrong statement? Right statement. Super. A dot M1. Valida, invalida? A dot M1. Valida, invalida? A dot M1. Yeah, A is equal to new BF. If you feel is the wrong statement, stop coming for spring. Please sit in the core Java sessions. Superclass reference variable can refer subclass object. If you don't know this statement, this is wrong. If you feel that is a new for you, you are waste to sit in core spring sessions. Complete core Java one more time and come for it. I am not here to teach core Java. I am here to use core Java. Please. Valid Rababu. A dot M2. Valida, invalida? Everyone please respond. A dot M2. Valida, invalida? It's a valida, invalida? Invalid, dirty fellows. Using superclass reference variable, can we call direct methods of the subclass? No. We can call only superclass methods and common methods, right? We can call only superclass methods and common methods. Are you understanding my statement? But I want to make it possible. Then what should I do? B1 is equal to P of A. Typecasting, downcasting. B1 is equal to B of A. Okay, downcasting. That is also typecasting, right? Typecasting only. B1 dot M2. Valida, invalida? B1 dot M1. Valida, invalida? Now both are going to be valid or not? Okay, guys. Tell me, what is the note? If the superclass reference variable is referring to subclass object, then using that reference variable, we can invoke only we go for negative side only. We cannot invoke the direct methods of this subclass. If you still want to invoke, go for typecast. If you still want to invoke, go for typecast. Go for typecast. Clear, my dear? Got it? Typecasting. Go for typecasting with the child class. With the subclass. Yeah. If you give proper brain, boss, your core Java knowledge also will be doubled after attending my spring sessions. Okay. 30% time I spent for core Java. If you have a real good knowledge of proper foundation of core Java, your knowledge will be doubled. Tell me, guys, can I call obj dot string result is equal to obj dot generate wish message Raja. Is it valid statement or invalid statement, guys? Can I call this one? Can I call this one? First of all, generate wish message is the method of wish message generator class. Achha, show wish message, fine. Show wish message is the method name. Show wish message is the method name. Okay. Tell me, is it the valid or invalid, boss? Those are saying valid. Can you revise your core Java? Can you sit in core Java? Array, object is the superclass for wish message generator. Object is the superclass for wish message generator. Superclass reference variable is referring to subclass object. Yes. Okay. Show wish message is the direct method of the subclass. Show wish message method is there in the object class, boss. Is there in object class, boss? Not there. Okay, that's why it is invalid or not? Invalid. Why it is invalid? Using superclass reference variable, we are referring subclass object. Using that reference variable, can we call direct methods of the subclass? Definitely not. Certainly not. Certainly not. Gives error, right? Gives error. CE, compile time error. So how to make it possible, guys? Typecast. How to make it happening? Typecasting. Wish message generator. Wish message generator. Generator is equal to wish message generator of obj. Wish message generator of obj. Clear, my dear? Typecasting or downcasting. Now you understood why I taught that core Java. Now you understood why I taught that core Java. That's why don't do time pass in core Java, Babu. Super. Once we got the object, we can call the business method now, boss. Call the business method. Super, guys. String result is equal to generator dot show wish message Raja. Show wish message Raja. Valid or invalid? Valid, Babu. Because right now I'm invoking on subclass object, not on superclass reference variable. Okay, display the result. System.out.println. System.out.println result. Super, boss. Super means super. Generator. Okay, fine. End of the main method. End of the class. Yeah. What's the first statement in the main method? Container creation. Any problem in the container creation logic, boss? Are you feeling any issues in container creation logic? Easy? Super. GetBean is a ready-made method that is given by this container creating class, boss. If we pass any bean ID, that bean class object will come or not? Yeah. But return type of this method is what? Object. That's why we're referring with object class reference variable. But using that reference variable, can I call direct methods of any spring bean? Direct methods of any spring bean? Definitely not. Definitely not. So what should I do for that? Typecasting. Then I can call the business methods. I can display the result. In this whole main method, except container creation, did I create target class object manually? No. Did I create dependent class object manually? No. Did I assign dependent class object to target class object manually? No. All these are done by container. But whenever I ask a container is able to give target class object, what a beauty, Rababu. What a beauty. You don't pour the water. You don't pour the soap. You don't pour the detergent. You don't wash the clothes. You give everything to washing machine. But whenever I want, I can take the clothes from washing machine or not. Whenever I want, I can take the washing machine or not. Clothes from washing machine or not. Super, guys. Parallel Raja, I will give notes as a paint content only. No document will be given. Why? Because if I give document, you will copy paste the code. That is not called practicals. If I give paintbrush, you will type the code in the practice. Then you will get errors. You will try to spend the time to solve the errors. Again, try. Again, you will get errors. That is called practice. Clear? Super. Copy pasting is not the practice, boss. If you do copy pasting, you are called as data entry operator. If you want to become programmer, type the code, get the errors, clear the errors, then get the output. Yes or no, na? In Shahid Kapoor movie, one dialogue is there. Agar surgeon bano, take the blood onto your hands, then you will get satisfaction of becoming doctor. I think such statement is there in Shahid Kapoor movie. Okay, guys, listen. Only demo classes will be given as the backup classes. After that, every class you have to attend live. We don't provide backup videos. Clear, my dear? Yeah, Telugu Arjun Reddy movie I was talking about. This knowledge is great, I know that. Yes. Classwork, guys. Classwork, guys. Edit. You have not given notes in Google Classroom. Isha Shahu first attend classes regularly, then say notes is given or not given. Given. Yesterday I have given, right? Okay. FS64, Spring Core.